contributors to MyTV.
A family is an epitome of God's love towards mankind. God designed us to live in families, and the Bible reveals that family relationships are important to Him.
But as a believer, do you feel that you are still struggling?
Maybe you're still struggling with your relationship,
Struggling with your finances?
struggling at work,
With your social life?
or with your spiritual life.
We invite you to join us
On our family table talk every Saturday,
at 7:30 a.m. on MyTV.
or catch us on our Facebook page. Bulaminaka, welcome again to Family Table Talk, 7:30 every Saturday morning. What a beautiful weather outside, overcast, and a little bit breeze,
Yeah.
and the temperature is about 23, 22, and it's wonderful, very cozy. As normal, every Saturday like this, we are taking things and we can sleep in, and we watch from our living room, or maybe having breakfast this wonderful morning. We take this time to greet you all this wonderful, beautiful morning every Saturday. For those of you who are listening from the village, and those of you in urban centers, town areas and cities, Nian Binaka, Bula Binaka, on this Saturday, Family Table Talk 7:30. Not forgetting, if you are tuning in from overseas, we take this time to say greetings from homeland, beautiful island of Fiji. And last week like this, we were saying hello from Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland, from the other side of the planet. But this morning, we are back here at Turaki, Suva. And
Beautiful Turaki.
Voi dake ni nonto korturanga o Suva, kero saba ang bulat tugani, and mataka ni singinday. Okla ni lubi kandara ni nabito kay bale balita na nanraki raki malaka ni doto kan biloti kata-kata wida to na ito inci kata-kata talanga balita na kenan raki gaisa nga nakadaka li weekend and the thing may na pamatentu na kampani and the tukuli bale kero sabi kinda bagito gani bagayan rito gani arna yan bula binaka malo bula and the mataka ni singinday malo sao tiwango dortu may sa ni buru kadua.
Yeah, it was the night, It was the evening.
Kabiti ko ni warombuka na mato sauti sa patakati ko ni wakaruay weekend eviti kembali ni kero wakang bulat ko ni sanandua bongiti ko ni wakarombuka vera so vera wal na kalokon bongi so vera evitu so vera diwa so vera kabilelay ya na rakita banga ni waromuti ko may kina na matagan ni singaninday kero sa wakang bulat ko ni wakayan to gani nuitaka nakain no safety ko na tebel ini beng grabe matakan ni sinday balit sarangan mato bale boga buri makasama ayang weekend nakain daron ni tumikadake matakan ni sinday ko
Kandina. Yeah, we would like to say greetings to those of you that usually follow this program. Thank you for being loyal to the program, being part of the viewership, and we would like to say thank you. Thank you also to MyTV and its crew going out of their way to do setup every Saturday morning when we're in Fiji to make it happen the way it is. And also we would like to acknowledge and thank the crowd that came and joined us on the live show in Edinburgh in Scotland. Thank you. The Scotland Edinburgh community, to all the women and the men, the couples that turn up. Thank you. Thank you, Auntie Eggie. And thank you to the youth. Auntie Eggie and the husband, thank you for doing a great job in looking after that Edinburgh community youth. And it's amazing just to see, outside Fiji and to feel that all over the world in different countries, there are communities, there are elements of things, happening, and to experience being from the It's Okay, it's such a blessing. So we've had quite a great time in Scotland, and it was good having you as part of the show last Saturday when we were in Scotland. Well, today is back in Turaki, like what Gastelov said. We would like to say greetings to all of you. And I know it's Saturday. It's one of those days that you always say, you own it. You wake up in the morning and you can say yourself or do things to yourself without anything controlling you. Because work controls you to be in the office at 8. Your children control also to stand up and wake up in the morning to make their lunches, or your grandchildren like mine. And other, outside factors can have their say in your life during the week. But on Saturday, you can say, hey, hold on, I have a life to live. Well, some of us can't really because we have sports still going. We have our church camping going, and there's a lot of things still happening around us. So please, I know that you can still find your space and find your moment for you to say that I am enjoying what I'm doing, and you can still know your name and know what you're supposed to be doing. There are a lot of movements and a lot of things happening, and we should and must always acknowledge God in sustaining us and keeping our life the way it is. Well, today is also the semis for Dean's rugby, and I believe it's happening at the HFC Stadium and the surrounding grounds as well. And most of the schools that are taking part, parents have been praying for their sons as well, and even the girls for the Raluve, who are praying for their children, and they will be praying today, and in different teams from different schools. There are schools preparation that they have their own team management, their coaches, and also the parents that support them, towards their game, and they may be having their own little pocket camps in their own schools. So whatever that has transpired over the week, today's game, there's a lot of commitment on the parents' side to see things through, because every parents, they love their children, and regardless of what they have, and if they don't have, they will give their best or go out of their way to make it happen for their child. And I believe that's in every mother, in every dad, or in every nana or boo or tutu to those boys and girls that are today. So whatever the result is, let's embrace it. At the end of the day, only one team can win. And whichever it goes, let us have a good heart and embrace that as well. And allow our children to enjoy the things they're doing. And as long as they know that they have you at their back, and as long as they know that you are happy with their performance. And I believe if anything that we can do for our children today, to pray for them and see them through and so that they're good. And also just to be there around. If you're able, please, I haven't been to any of my grandchildren's games. I'm always trying to push my family or pay for their tickets to go and watch. I'm always someone at home or always in the car praying somewhere out there. And thus, I'm saying, for those of you who can, please be at the ground and just cheer your children. They can hear the loud sound or the voice of all the cheering, but your voice will make a big difference to their life. Their family's voice, makes such an impact in their life. As long as they know that you are there, they are good. So let's support our boys and girls today on the semis, and forward to the finals that is upcoming next Saturday. And all the best to all the teams that are playing, and all the best to all the parents that support their children, and all the best to the schools and all the coaches and the team and the head of schools. So prayerfully, that is going to be favorable for the games today, and also the conditions of the ground will be favorable to our boys or our girls that are playing today. So all the best, and keep your heart clear and prayerful that no one gets injured, that at the end of the day today, we are all good.
Not forgetting our warriors in France, Fijian,
Yes.
that you are preparing to meet France at the time that is tomorrow morning, and I believe Fiji will be focusing on you boys.
Yeah, go Fiji.
That you are taking on the France in their home ground.
Yeah.
So from this family table talk, we wish all the to all the 25 that you are named to be on the lineup, and also the impact players. To the captain, Semir Randra, and all the boys, we say this morning, all the best as we take our nation into the platform. The World Cup come next month.
Come on, Fiji. Let's support our team all the way in France. Let's support them.
And boys and girls here looking forward in the beautiful Laudala. Some games will be in and some in Pakaspakai.
Okay.
So it's a weekend of sports, and whatever team that you cheer for, do your best. At the end, when the dust settles this afternoon, may the good and the best team win the race.
Yes, we're all winners anyway.
Yeah.
We're all winners in whatever way. We put in all our efforts. All the teams put in their best efforts. And if their best turns out to be what it is, then
Yes.
that's their best. So we are all winners. Winners in the sense that this is my best, and I'm happy.
Yes.
So all the best to all the games, semis today. Well, last week we spoke a little bit longer, as usual, on the health. And I know sometimes, like, oh, okay, there they go again, talking about health, convicting of my health. Well, that is exactly the reason why we always talk about it, to convict us. Because for us, I believe we only think that we need medical help or we need to go and see the doctor when we feel sick. When we are normal and we are all good, the thought of going to see the doctor is far out, and the thought of even going to see for a medical check, it's like, okay, what? You know, we don't really think that it is important, or you know, that you need to do it. Not until you find out, very late, or you get sick, or some of the symptoms that kept on coming, and then towards the end, then you get to know by that time it's very late. Then that conviction, that feeling in your heart when you say, if only I could have known it a little bit earlier, if only. And it cannot help you. And that if only is why we are saying what we're saying every family table talk every Saturday morning. Because we don't want you to say if only. We want you to say, I'm grateful, I'm thankful that I got to know about it a little earlier, and I managed to do something a little bit different that had prolonged my life or make me a little better than I was supposed to be.
Yeah, and when we talk with doctors, it's just like drinking water.
Yeah.
Most of the time we only drink when we are thirsty.
Thirsty, yeah.
And according to the doctor's advice, no, you drink water. This is the amount of liters that you're supposed
daily,
to take on a daily basis.
And it's quite a challenge when the weather is like this. You know, like you only get to drink water when it's hot, and you desire, like you're thirsty, like what you said. I mean, they say it's summer when we went to England, but it was cold. Yeah. And like you're so used to be drinking water in the morning, that didn't happen. Like for me, it didn't happen. If I look and the water is there, like in G, if the water is there, I go looking for it. But there, because of the weather, like it's okay.
That's why when it's cold weather, the flu settling into most people.
Yeah.
Because water, not according to their advice, because water, it's a lot of things. It's maybe the best medicine when you continue to take away a lot of toxin in our body. So when we are thirsty, that means we are taking very less liquid.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to be thirsty.
Yeah.
We're supposed to have a maximum of 2 hours to finish, amount of water.
Yeah.
And just like sickness, when we don't get sick, even though the sickness can be already in our body. So when we feel sick or feel weak, that means the sickness already take
spread.
Most of our organs or in our body. So medical checkup will tell you, even though you feel well, medical checkup will tell you this sickness is already in your body. So that's where the proactive comes in. So you are more defensive rather than you are curing. You are doing it
beforehand
rather than
reacting to the problem.
And that's why last week it's always good to have your medical check.
Yes.
Especially when you pass 45, 50.
Yeah.
And, it's good to have a yearly. And as you grow older, and sometimes can be reduced to 6 months. Keep you in pass with food, the diet.
Because as you get old, your immune system, everything seems to change. It's not like the way it was before. But yet, we continue to live like it's still okay. Because the way we live, it doesn't change. Because we'll continue to live the way we were. Say, growing up like in your 20s, in your 30s, in the 40s, you abuse your body, or you don't eat, or you drink, or you stay up very late in the night, or you eat too much. Your lifestyle continue. And then sometimes we are oblivious to the fact that we are getting older and we continue living the way we're living. and our body is not ready or the good place to facilitate the our habits of life.
And that's why the family
Yeah.
sharing
It helps.
is very important, that we learn a few tips here and there.
Yeah.
Because as we grow old, the food that you used to like before, like your taste buds start to change, and even the amount of food
Yeah.
you start
It
to change. Yeah. Because the change will come. Just how to embrace the change.
Yeah.
And sometimes we refuse to accept change, but change will come
Yeah.
Sooner or later. So it's better for you to adjust before
Yeah.
the change comes. Yeah. And family talk last week to me was very educational. And I believe a lot of people that are watching the program last week, it's very educational
Yeah.
and also assisted
Yeah.
in some ways.
Awareness, eh?
Yeah. Just looking after your body, the food that you eat, the diet, and the style of life that you live will assist you to enjoy life a little bit longer. Not only to live longer, but to be strong. Yeah?
Yes.
To be strong. And
To live
do,
healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To do what you can do,
Do.
rather than just be a burden to family members, and especially to our children,
Yes.
and also to our grandchildren.
Well, yeah, we were talking about health, and also another reminder to to us, as for moms and dads, and even for adults that are working. You know, sometimes we get so busy in life, making money, busy in life, making making money. Like to make sure that everybody, okay, which is normal. You know, who doesn't want extra money? And everybody goes out of their way to get or to make that extra money that is required for the family, for the investment, or for their future plans of good living, and that is normal for anybody. But sometimes we are so engrossed in it that we forget about our life, we forget about our health, we forget about us. We are busy making the money, pushing ourselves to the limit, to the most, to give the best. And all of us, we mean well. We work our hearts out because we mean well, the best for our family. But in the process, most of the time, we forget about ourselves, and which we would like to be the voice of reminder to you. If you're busy working your life out for you, make sure that you have some time for yourself, and make sure you relook at the way you're doing it, so you can be part of the plan that you're planning. You know, sometimes we plan so much for years to come, investment to make in years to come, the future that you want for your children in years to come. And then we are not conscious of the way that we're living our lives. We're not conscious of the way of our life habits. And at most time, our lives are taken, or we don't enjoy with our family the very thing that you have worked so hard for. And I believe, you know, we would like to be the reminder to us that are listening in today. Because some of us may, you know, engage ourselves. I'm not talking to all of us only in Fiji. This is like global. Anywhere in the world you may be. As long as you're tuning in this morning, or you get to listen to this program any other time. Most of the time, we are so busy making things up for life, what it can be and should be, pushing ourselves to the most, to the extreme of what we can make, and we forget our lives. And for most cases that I've seen, or for stories that I've heard, or few that I've prayed for, I've seen that their lives, you know, have passed on, or they lost their lives, and they were not part of the very thing that they have desired for their family. Come that time for their children to grow into this future that their parents or one of them have worked so hard to bring about to their lives. It's either minus one of them or minus the both of them. So just a reminder, whatever that you're doing, please get a medical check and make sure you know your health, you know yourself, and know how far you can push your life. Because if you know of your health and know your shortfall, then you know what you should change in your current workforce, and the kind of work and the shift and the number of that you currently have on your plate, which is another reminder. What would you like? To work it all up and get all the money that you can make and lose your life in the process, or in your life and you can still make that kind of thing you want to make and create the future in finance that you might want for your children and your family, and you become part of the family. All enjoy the hard work of your hands. So we would like to encourage all of us. I will share my story. I've worked my life. I started work when I was only 16 years of age, and I really worked. I'm a worker. And I look at every other opportunities to make money. Even by working in the office, I still sell on the side. I sell hot dogs. I sell roti parcels. You name it, I do it. All that what I was trying to do is to, create the finance that I need for my family, to help me pay the bills. And my children, most of them, all of them, 3 of them at the time, either schooling overseas or they're in private schools. And like what I said, sometimes we're looking at our families and our children enjoying all these things, but we don't take a step back to check how are all these things being financed. And it takes sacrifices either from the parents or from the grandparents to make it happen. Well, this is my story. That can be yours as well, or you can relate to it. And I like to do that, like everything, like even when we travel, and my husband knows, the early stage of our travel, as we go out, to eat out, I will say, okay, you two share that. It's like sharing. Or I will pick whatever's left. Because I will place aside whatever finance that is required for that, for me to pick up little things again for the like moms, you listening to me today, you know what you do. The little things, the little patch up, the little sacrifices that we do for our family. Well, I used to do that. And until I think a certain part of my life that convicted me to leave my job and come and do full time. And because of the ministry that I started, and my husband has already left. Until that time, I try and work towards, even before going and leaving my employment, I worked for 3 years like I wasn't getting paid, which means I don't look forward to my pay packet. I don't quickly go to the bank when the pay is out. I organize all the deductions to go for my tithe and all other things. And my pay was basically to run the church. And even when we run out of something at home, I'm fasting and praying. And I live my life like I wasn't getting paid. And that helped when I finally stood to walk out of my job to start the ministry and come and help with the ministry. And I'm sharing in the sense that you have your own ways of trying to make it happen. And I was really grateful with the fact that I think 2 years leading to my leaving my employment, that I was really, really strongly convicted because I see my children growing up so fast and growing out of my home. And also I felt in my heart that all I was doing was saving money, doing this, doing that. And at most time, we were living the way we were living and having the ministry running at the same time, and no family time. We had our family time when it comes to devotion. We have our family time when it comes to family time, but there was no set aside a family time that you can take your family for a holiday, or you can show your family. You tell your family, okay, you matter most. This is our time with you, or this is the time that we can spend together. And I'm grateful that I made that decision years back. And when that happened, I planned out every year to take my family out. So we've been to Singapore 2 times. I've taken them to Israel when the church goes up to Israel on the trip for our workshop or our leaders summit. I will take my family. I grab every opportunity to take my family and spend on my family. So before I used to save up and leave my finances there to help with the church or help with other things that needs help on and invest. I totally changed my mind, I believe now for the last 5 years. It has really changed me. It changed me to reprioritize the values of my life. And I've changed a lot of things. And not only just changed my life, even the running of the church, to assign a day just for family, and for the senior pastors or all the pastors of the church to spend time with their family, to have family, as priority of their lives, because the church will always continue to go. Work, if you die today, somebody can replace you tomorrow. Your boss can quickly, they'll miss the kind of that you do. They'll miss the quality of work that you do, but they can easily replace you with somebody else. Even in the church, somebody else can stand up and preach the good gospel. Somebody else can come and be the helper to the poor. Somebody else can be the voice. But for your family, you are the only voice. You are the only being. You are the only person. And you matter so much to their lives. And I'm grateful with that conviction that I was able to do that until today. That I'm able to set holidays aside or weekend aside, or even if we are having church programs, I will log and cut my whole tribe with me to be part of that program, no matter how much it costs, because I believe the only quality family time that I can have with them, and also they always remember, and it's amazing. You know, maybe we think or we believe as parents that placing food on the table, having above their heads, clothes on their body, water to drink, all the basic necessities of their life, and we begin to feel that that is the job of our parents, and we begin to feel that we have gone out of our way to make it happen for their lives, or things for them when they go to school. But I would like to, encourage us today. When you do that, I believe it's not supposed to, being asked of us. It's our duty to do that for our children, because we are custodians of our children. Like for me, I am a custodian for my children as well. So we are their custodians. We are supposed to be providing food on the table for them, clothes over their body, shelter or roof above their heads, and also for them to be good wherever they go, whether to school or to church or to any other social function that they have, sport and all other things. So when it comes to that, those are stable and those are monotonous in every home. Every home, there is their role. Every parents, every family, there is the role. But when you go out of your way to create something different, maybe take them out to McDonald's, have a soft serve for 50 cents, I don't know how much it is now, or just go out to the park, sit, cook the same dinner, go out to the park and just have a good play, and just for them to see that they have your full attention. I bet, they will never forget that. They will always remember those moments. So going out or taking our family out or creating a vacation, sometimes we don't do it because we think that it's costly, or we always assume that there's no money to take them out. Forget about the money, just speak on the values. Those times that you spend with your children, I can guarantee they will never ever forget. They will always remember. They may not talk about it much, but they will remember. For this, I know this for sure. Because my grandchildren, whenever I take them and take them to the hotel or wherever we are having something that we are going to, or when we travel, and I remember one time we were at this place and I wanted to join them in the swimming pool. So I came and I said, okay, I will join you people. I went and changed and I joined them to the pool. And as I did, what Joshua said that day sort of lingers in my mind and really make me feel, just like, because when I came into the pool and then he turned and he said, Nana, do you remember when was the last time you joined us swimming? And I said, no. And he said the exact year and the exact place. And that was like 4 years ago. And when I heard him, then I realized that they remember every little things we do together as a family with undivided attention. And for that, for him to say that, it really helps me to rethink now when we go out to try as much to be part of what they're doing, to try as much, to be part of what they're doing, because that becomes a memory for them. It becomes one of those things for me, but it becomes a memory for them, a legacy that I leave for their life. So as parents listening in today, when you get to listen to this program at any other time later, we would like to encourage you. Maybe you will raise your hand and say, I cannot afford to do that. Like what I said, you can think of the less finances or the most economical one. It can just be basically, I think before, I don't know whether you still remember, we used to cook at home, our dinner, and go to Super Picnic Park and pack them up in containers and just go to the park, take our mat and spread the mat and take their bicycle or take their scooters. And they will be doing running around, doing whatever they're doing, and we're just lying down there, have our prayer, have our dinner.
It's not the cost, it's not the money,
it's moment.
Not finance. It's a time that we live together, it's a time that they enjoy the scenery, and especially for young families like that. Because that is the time that they will remember the most before they are out of school and go to universities. There are a lot of other scenarios in their life. But when they are still very young,
Yes.
and we pay attention into their sports, into their schoolwork, parents interview, um, all the social that our children engage with.
Yes.
They support and be with them, because those are the moments that their surroundings are very limited. So they will remember. That's why they will remember well all those years that we are with them. Because they will
They're out of the
walk in
house.
town
Yeah.
with their friends. When we walk together, they'll be right in front or right at the back. Because
Like, don't hold my hands, I'm old.
they are growing up into to
Yeah.
teens and to maturity.
Yeah.
So the best time, as we said, those are in kindergarten, primary school, and
High
secondary
school,
school, high
yeah.
school. By the time they reach year 11, year 12, year 13, that's the time they start to grow into manhood.
Yeah.
And
Teenagers. Yeah.
that's the importance of being with our children when they are still young, because they will remember the family value. If anything they will remember family values, what they do with their parents,
Yes.
or as a family,
Yeah.
in the time that they enjoy in the park, enjoy be walking in the sea wall, or going to the movie together, or sitting at home and having baba cow and having one family movie. And that's the time they will remember.
Yes.
And I believe one time we were in the sitting room with our grown-up children, and they remember those Christian
moments,
movies,
yeah.
the time that we are back in Lot 62 in Malawai. They remember those, and it's encouragement to all parents that you are watching this program today. Remember those times. And sometimes we just give them phone, and we don't
Yeah.
want to, we use the phone to be babysitting for them. And sometimes we tell them to go and play with their neighbors. But those are the moments that they want us to play with them. They want us to be with them, because they are still learning, and they are learning very, very fast.
Yeah.
What they hear and what they do with their parents.
Yeah, and I believe every parents love their children.
Yeah.
And your children, without doubt, they love you as their parents. Nothing matters to them than your voices. And when you're part of those moments of their lives, they will never, ever forget. They will always remember. And it's, I mean, even if you haven't been doing it, or you say to yourself, oh, okay, I missed out. It's never too late to try. It's never too late to relook at how you your family now, and try and have some quality time or quality talk with them, either from father to sons, and moms to daughters, and have those kind of talks, and acknowledge them as adults. I have those kind of talk with my grandsons or my grandchildren. I will call them on the side individually. If we are going out for dinner, I will sit with this one. Or if we're going for movies, I will sit with this one, because I'll use that time to be close to whoever that I chose, because I try to understand each and every one of them, because not all of them are the same. They are so different, and that goes for your children. Your children are not all the same. Some are very good. Some are very good academically. Some, they're not maybe very good academically, but they're good in other things around them. So their strengths and their weaknesses, they differ. And it's our duty as parents to be able to help them and be the voice of encouragement, and never compare them. Never say, oh, he's doing that, why can't you do this? Treat every child as an individual. I do that for my children. I give them a lot of freedom. Maybe I blame myself for giving them too much freedom. And also I give the same freedom to my grandchildren. And even this morning when I was praying, and I was really, just asking God, and telling God, maybe I've given my grandchildren too much freedom. So there are a lot of things, when you see the results, and they be convicted that you could have, should have. So those are learning processes. No one is perfect. No parenting is perfect. There is no training on parenting. And there is no guidelines. Some guidelines can be given on the book, but to make it relatable to your own profiled family, it's hard to find that match. But for us, because we believe in God and we trust God mostly for that guidance for our children and now for our grandchildren, and it's our duty to play them, because as they grow out of our and looking for parents that have children, or children that have normal families. And what about families where the children don't have any more parents, or they don't have grandparents, or they're just part of the extended family? They don't hear any words of counsel. They don't feel any love. They become objects or beings or numbers to do things that needs to be done. But on the overall, no one bothers, how they feel or how they're going to turn out to be. It's like the spur of the moment. You're here, I use you, and after that you're forgotten. And you may be that child to me today, that you don't have anything to look forward to, or you don't have anybody to watch over you, or have anyone to have your back, like normal children that comes from a normal household have. And if you are, and you're listening to us today, because I'm a believer and I trust God, I would like to recommend, trust in this God. Can be the father to the fatherless. And he can help you in so many ways that in the physical essence that cannot be met. And that's the only assurance I can give you. And also work hard and smart in everything that you lay your hands on. If other children say that they have an option, you say to yourself, I don't have an option. This is my most, and I must make it happen. So when you pick up something, you tell yourself, this must work. And you pray and you work hard and work smart to make it work, because you can't afford, just to treat it with a casual attitude. And that's one thing that I continuously, which I think I fail with my grandchildren. That conviction that I want to drive in their lives, because they come from a broken home, or say that they come from a family that the parents are not together. That I try to push them far and provide as much that they will pick up the pieces and work hard. And sometimes they get comfortable with the condition that I've created, and they don't work as hard as I would want them to be. And you may be listening to me today and can relate to my story. This is only as much as we can do to our children and our grandchildren, because we love them. But try, if anything, for you to tick in a bucket list, or write down, or include, or add on to the list that you have been writing. Try and put aside a time in a year that you can use some of the money that you've made to spend on your family, or to spend on your children in a holiday, or in a place that you can take them aside. I always look forward to those moments, because it's undivided attention for us, for the roles that we play in the church that we belong in, roles that we play in the family or in the community that we are part of. Sometimes it can be so overwhelming, and it lessens the priority of our family, which I try as much never to forget to always have family as a priority in whatever that we are planning for the church or planning for any other things otherwise, or the community. I will always try and have my family as a priority, because we are the only figures and the figures that we play in the church or in the community. Somebody else can easily replace us as we die, but not my family. And I do that, and going out and taking them out for maybe a few days, 2 to 3 days, or for a week of their holidays, and just giving them that attention, making their food, going out with them, whatever that they do. When we travel, when I took them to New Zealand, they were playing this game, the bowling game, whatever they were playing, shooting game. I was part of their life, normal grandmother, and I love those moments, because those moments I treasure, because it will never come again. And I love the moment that we spend together, because to them it's undivided attention. Anybody from the church, I'm not looking in my phone working. I'm not busy trying to send my email or doing my work. My attention is solely on them, and I enjoy those moments as much as them. Those moments I will always hold close to my heart. And I would like to recommend to us, we may be doing the right thing, we may be doing the needful, They'll always say, we can't afford to do that. It costs us a lot of money just to send you to school. It costs us a lot of money just to feed you every day. And you may have 101 reasons to tell your children why you're not able to just take them on the side and show that they are your priority, or they are so valuable to you. Because the day will come when they'll walk out that door, they an adult, and you will be talking to them as an adult. They will have their own family, and their life goes on. So whatever that we are doing to them now, they will take it not only as memorable moments they have, but also it will help them recreate the same thing for the families that they will be part of. Whatever that they experience through their family, they will take them to their own families. Maybe you don't want to talk about that now because they're still small. Well, that's reality. Years goes on. And before you know it, they've reached 18, they've reached their 21, and they're in your face telling you that they're moving on with their lives. And while we can, please, let's grab a moment and provide some quality family time to our children. The term is coming to an end for Fiji for the month of August. I believe for Europe, for Scotland, they're going back to school this, and also for England the week after, because they're going straight into school year. Different countries have got their different timetable and different breaks. Whatever it is, we pray that we will always have our children, as part of our plan, as priority as well, and also to see through to the best of their living.
The news at the moment is focusing on children on the streets.
Yeah.
So whatever we are sharing this morning, there are other children that they are not experiencing the love, the comfort
of a normal home,
for a normal home, and they are out there struggling in this cruel world, and sleeping on the street. They can't say mom or dad to somebody around them, and even their grandparents are not there. So it's a big challenge to families at the moment to acknowledge that they are human beings, they are lives, they are out there, and mostly when you see them on the street, their body language will tell you that they are desperate for something to drink or something to eat, and sometimes you feel sorry, but you can't do it. So family table talk like this, you can assist and avoid the situation that is around the corner that can happen to any children. And you are talking on our grandchildren, and you are saying that you are asking God, maybe I give them a lot of freedom. But for all the grandparents that you are watching this morning, our relationship and our love for our children is totally different to our grandchildren. I was sharing with my wife one time. We send our children to get us this, to get us that. But our grandchildren, because they are so close to us, they will send us there, send us there, because they are very close to us. And if we are not careful, they will miss the discipline that our children go through with us. Because we want our children to achieve, we want our children to discipline. So the father and mother relationship to their children is totally different. Now, when we are grandparents, and the father and the mother want to discipline their children, and we are around, it's like a battlefield. Or pa and then I want to discipline their grandchildren, because that relationship. And when I was hearing Arandini sharing this morning about that we can be a little bit very relaxed on our discipline with our grandchildren, but we are very rigid and we are very on the spot with our children. It's that we can't help it because of the relationship, and we love our grandchildren. We want to spoil them. I remember one t-shirt that I bought for Joshua so many years ago. I like my grandpa because he give me extra hours to watch television. And that's those kind of statements. They are really true. when they are with their parents, oh, they are very strict. They told to go to sleep. Enough of this, enough of that. Come inside. No playing outside. But when they were with the grandparents, oh, okay, let them out. And who said? Oh, my pa said. Oh, my nana said. But this wonderful morning, the value that we treasure in our home.
For all grandparents, count yourself blessed as you have grandchildren, because I believe for some grandparents they're not able to, to witness their grandchildren or to enjoy that what God's be sharing. That's not natural. All over the world, not only Fijians, everybody love their grandchildren, and they'll go out of their way to do everything for their grandchildren. And if you are, consider yourself blessed. I'm blessed that I can grow up with my grandchildren. I'm blessed that I can witness them, and by prayer that God will keep me until I see that they are in a good place. That's my prayer to my God, so much as I love them. And the little things that I tweak for them, like this morning, because I have been praying for their exams, praying for their academics, and also their sports, finding the balance. And sometimes I give them more room for them to do what they want to do. I don't supervise the work. I trust them. And those are the little things that I come before God, and I'm beginning to tell God, maybe I should supervise them. And I'm so busy, I cannot do that. So those are the things that I come before God, and I need help around the house, but some people don't help, and it happens. And those are the little things that you can be standing, on God for, and to see that they're good, not only to provide for them physically, but to pray for them, and commit. If you're a believer and you trust in God and you believe in God, as well as we, don't just end in the physical provision of what you can. Commit them to God in prayer, because you may not be with them for long and you may not be with them forever, but God is going to see them through. That's my hope and that's my trust. That's the only thing that I do. The only reason why I'm asking for my life is for my grandchildren, because all other places that I'm part of I can be easily replaced, but not for my grandchildren, because my grandchildren also, when they're not up in a normal family, that they have mother and father or mom and daddy that can continue with their lives. So that, that unknown, it gets me. It gets me as a grandmother. And to God for my grandchildren. For me, there's only two things that is my life. It's my God, because I love my God, and whatever that comes with that package. It's the ministry, it's my TV, because of what God wants to do. It's everything that has to do with God. And second is my family. That matters most. And I fight nail in tooth for my family and for the things of God. And those are the two main things in my life that I continue to find purpose in my living, or find the reason why I'm standing. And when you listen to us today, find the reason, find that purpose, because you can be happy with your family, happy with your children today, and you're just looking at today. Try and project the future, and try and plead with God, and commit them to God in prayer, because where you are not going to be, God is going to be there for you. And I'm not here to preach to you, but I'm here to share with you the goodness that has helped me to be the grandmother to my grandsons or grandchildren, and also to be the mother to my children. The work that we do takes us a lot out of the house, which I don't like at times, and it takes me out of the family. And when it does, always having that feeling, wherever that I am, all over the world, I will make sure that I call and I see their faces, that I want to talk to them. And I pray with them. And no matter how little, how trivial it can be, or how huge they desire, or whatever they're sitting on prayer, I will find the time to pray for my family, because they mean so much to me. So whatever that you're currently doing for your family, there is your measurement of your love for your family. Because if you love your family, you will go out of your way to do anything for your family. If you're not doing as much for your family, then that's the truth about the measurement of love that you have for your family. And try and just look through, just assess, maybe years back, few years back, or just for these. How much time have you spent with your family? How much time have you spent talking to your children? How much time have you spent with your grandchildren? How much time, or how many days, or can you put a number to it, that you have sat and have a good dinner, a table talk with your family, or a good Sunday lunch, as you can sit and they get your full attention. And all those things, it's for you to ask, and it's for you to find the result and the answer, and also to make little changes to your life to make it the way it is. Because when something happens, if anyone that is pulling and tugging on your coffin, it's the very family that I'm talking about today. I cannot even imagine the past. I can't imagine for my grandchildren, especially so for my grandsons, because of my closeness to them and because of how close they are to me. So I always try to imagine that to help me prepare them for what is to come. I know it may sound crazy, we're living for today, but I always try as much as possible to leave my thinking for tomorrow to correct my living today. And I would like to, recommend and also to advise parents and grandparents today, please look out for your family. This reports written. I was actually out of Fiji and reading an article that was printed in the paper on some of the parents that are going out into the social activities in the night, keeping their children in the car and giving them their phones. Or, like it can be for an hour, it can be for half an hour, it can be for 45 minutes, just for them to stay in the car while they go out and do what they enjoy doing. It can work sometimes, but what if something, those moments that they are unsupervised, what if they decide to go out of the car? What if somebody come and, break the glass of the car? What if something? There are a lot of what ifs. And when things happen, there's nothing that you can do to undo. There's nothing that you can do to bring back. And that's your business. Every parents have every right to do whatever they want to do with their families. We're just here being the voice. We're not here to say, we shouldn't have, should do this or should go this way. No, we are just sharing stories of our experiences, the closeness, what family is about, the taking, the cue that you take from it, that's but I would like, nakakeden da kawa ni ngona nduma yabe kenen do na lenga and na vivu tu ni takabakabida nanonda dingin sa kaya da kawa balata ni sa meado na lenga sendo na kaya sa sinirao ninda na viso tak balata kende go na keden na lovenda. So I know we are talking a lot on the love that we must and that we should have for our children, their upbringing, the discipline that is required of them, the little we do. Some of the children, I think, and doing roka ni mata ihurubura era kemi ni bakara ronga tikumekina and not singa vinaka ni koa. There are a lot of different scenarios that happen in every household. It's horrible. It can be so overwhelming. But whatever the situation is and whatever those family scenarios may be, it really depends entirely on the couple, entirely on the family, because we can only share as much, but the taking ownership and making those scenery change, I believe it either take you to make it happen or take another power that is supreme that can make that happen. And that is what we want to share with us today. But overall, we just want us to love our children, hug them. And if you have your children for a very long time, please. And if you say that they are too old to be hugged, please hug them and tell them that you love them. I know before I used to hug my grandchildren. They'll quickly wrap their arms around me. Or hug my grandson. They'll quickly, hug me back and hug me hard. But now when you hug, it's like their hands are like, okay. Indirectly, they're trying to tell me, get on with it. Please move on. Because as they grow older, I mean, their life change. We are not the only ones who are changing. Their lives are changing as well. And grab the moment while you can still feel their hug. Now I from Sunny Mall and from Lake Kayla, from Hadass and Samsara, they hug. Like for Kayla. I was so looking forward to come and see her, my youngest granddaughter. Really missed her on this trip. And when we met, she hugged me so tight. And, that moment, I just cry in my heart, man, I miss this. I miss this moment. I miss this granddaughter of mine. And even to the stage now, when she wants to sleep, and she'll tell me, for me to take her to my bedroom. And before she can just roll out and sleep. But now, no, she'll come closer to me and hug me and make sure she's holding on to my top or holding on to any part of my body. And I'm beginning to feel, indirectly she's trying to show me, don't go again. It's like I for too long. And those are relationships you have with your children and with your grandchildren. And I go with them to the movies here. I preach the word of God here. Church, I go to movies with my grandchildren and I enjoy them. I sit there and I watch movies with them. I tell them, I am your nana. I'm not the preacher. I'm not the pastor. I'm not the church goer. I am a normal grandmother that loves them. I sit with them and I try and enjoy those moments. And when she comes in, she said, I want to watch Ninja Kids. I want to watch Peppa Pig. Sing along with them. Hey Diddle Diddle, all those kind of stuff. And those moments, I guarantee, they will never forget. It lingers with them. It stays with them. And I want to be the voice to the moms, the grandmoms that are listening to me today, because we are the ones that make that connection. We that create these things. The dads and the grandfathers, they are always there to support what needs to be done. They are always there to be, the body, the force, and the provider in what needs to be done. But to think it out, to create those situations, to create moments and to make them happen, that lies with you moms, grandmoms at home. So stand up and love your child and get your husband to be part of what you plan for your children and what you plan for your grandchildren. I know we are all churchgoers. We go to church, we all pray. We all pray to this God that, that blesses us. And God has blessed our family. God has given you that family. And if only you know that there are couples and there are women that are praying and asking God for children, for them to have their children, and they cannot have children, or their children. If only you know that there are other people that are also designed to have a family, but they, out of circumstances they're in, they cannot. And you have it. And more so for us to, to be grateful and be best custodians to our children and be the best custodians to our grandchildren. And show them that we love them. And also indirectly tell God, thank you for blessing my womb with these children. I am so blessed. So regardless of the child you have, no matter how rebellious they may be, remember, they are your children. I've always shared, and I know, I sound like a already for my eldest daughter, but seeing her life now and seeing the way that she's enjoying her life and her children, my heart is blessed. From what it was to what my heart is really blessed. And I'm really grateful that I'm still alive to be able to witness that. That's what I'm grateful to God for. That He kept me alive to see these days and to see this moment. That when I die, I'll die peacefully. That my job is done. I've made it. And with God's help, He made it. And on that note, please love your children, regardless how rebellious they can be. They can be talking back to you, or they may be doing things to you that be so painful and hurting. Love them, because no one else will love them as their child. You are the only one who can love them as your own children, because they belong to you. You are biologically connected to them. And your love, it's amazing. Your love towards this rebellious action, towards rebellious children, they will never forget that. They will remember. They may be acting out the way that they are acting, but in their heart, they know that you love them. Continuously tell them that you love them. The day will come that voice will become so loud in their ears that counsel that you always give will be amplified in their ears, and they will remember your love lasts. Out of all the things they're doing to you, you continuously love them above and against all odds.
I remember last night when everybody was sleeping at home and Licky came. So we went through Hey Diddle Diddle and Humpty Dumpty's Sitting on the Wall, the ABC song, and she was correcting me how to sing it. And imagine, those are the moments that she will tell for a long, long time. And as parents, as grandparents, when we give our attention, we will never know how much they treasure those kind of moments. Because there are some that they are struggling along. There are some young men, young women, they are in prison at the moment because of that rebellious attitude, because they don't find that love, or there was no confirmation from home, or there was no love from home. And I believe they went out and tried to do things which is which is not right, because nobody was there to guide them along. So the role of parents and role of adults and parents into a home is very, very important, because we've been through that life. No better person to teach the children or the grandchildren is us, the parents and the grandparents, because we've been through that life. We can share, we can tell, we can speak, we can give examples, even though the choice is theirs. But at the back of them, they already knew that somebody share with them. Because out there in the world, no, there are a lot of temptation, there are a lot of scenarios. Because we come from different homes, different backgrounds, different races. So the teaching or the background will be different, our culture will be different. But it is parents at home. And how solid, what is the foundation that we live with our children? The teaching. And for us, I believe one of the things that keep us together is our devotion at home. In the evening, devotion, the singing together. After singing, then we have a time that we just laugh and enjoy. Those are the moments that reminds them of family or the values of in a home. And wherever they will go, or how far they will go, or whatever things that they will do in life, I believe that those memories will live in them. And not all our children will be the same. Some will be out there, they call it black sheep, and some will be very obedient, but they are all our children. So the responsibility still remain with us. And as Radin, the more we spend time with them and the teaching with them, the guidance with them, and be part of their life, especially, as I said, before they reach 17 and 18 and 19, before those years, when we nurture them and be with them, I believe that they will remember. In a long time to come, they will remember those memories. And sometimes I've heard some pastors say, man, I can't preach, I can't do this work because my children. No, they are children. They are always children. Even parents, that we must give time and continue to talk, continue to visit, and continue to send message, because they are our children. One day or the other, then they will remember us, that we are always behind them. And we want to encourage all the parents that you are watching this morning. Don't ever give up on your children. Never give up on your children. Regardless, because I believe even if they come late, Randini said, we were very happy and we are really blessed. Our firstborn came back and we see the joy that she's going through at the moment, coming back home, coming back to the ministry. And maybe your children will come in life, but they will come and they will thank you, parents, for the teaching, the hard teaching or the sharing that you'll do. And some they will come late, and some maybe they come sooner. But regardless of what they will face, they will remember their home, they will remember their parents, they will remember their grandparents and the values.
Never stop talking. The talk keep on going. There's a lot of things happening. Wherever they fault, or wherever they come with all those kind of issues, let's remember to counsel. And whatever they need to do, counsel with love. Tell them what's the what is the outcome that they make. Because once they know and you continuously tell them the outcome, then they'll think again as and when they come through those kind of situations. Because they know whatever that they're doing, that's exactly the outcome of what can be. Some of them may be arriving home in a taxi, lost all their watches, lost their wallet, lost everything, lost the valuables. Or some, they come home with their shoes even taken off, stolen. They're too drunk to look after the things that belong to them. And those are the moments that can be breaking for some women or for some moms that are tuning in this morning. But when those moments happen, like what I said, it's the women, it's the mothers that feel the most. The men, they're very good talkers, but the women are the most that feel with all these things that is happening, because it always gives you the impression, what else to say to my son? What else to say to my daughter? And all those things, as they happen, try and know that there are certain things you can do and certain things you can do. And as long as they know that you love them, let that be the most vital thing in their life, as long as they know that you love them. And also for them to always hear your counsel and to tell them that, you must stop doing this because you can be a better person. Or when you do this, you lose this, you lose that. And when you do this, take away this. And all those words we continue to share with them, one day it will come to fruition in their life. And we believe that it can happen to any child. No child is ever too to the extreme that is, cannot be saved or cannot change. It can happen, it can change, and change can happen to anyone, no matter how bad things may be. And also to the single mothers that are tuning in today, I believe most of the time I always feel that I'm always concentrating on normal families, normal couples, normal children, that we fail to acknowledge the fact that we have, like what Silva said, there are children on the streets, they come from, broken homes. And also we have some children that are raised single-handedly by some mothers. And also I heard a few men that are single-handedly looking after their children or their families. So it used to be only single mothers. Now there's quite a fair bit of single fathers. And no matter how single you may be, and the stress and everything happens for a couple to make it happen, those double portion of every responsibility is on one person, and that is you. So if you are one of them today, we would like to say congratulations for doing a good job. That you have come far to today. What you have achieved over the years to today, to single-handedly look after your family and look after your children, to make them be who they are today. Maybe sometimes you have to give up on them, or maybe sometimes they're too much to handle. And maybe there's some moments of regret in your life, but you cannot go back and undo the mistakes. You cannot go back and undo the things that has happened. But with that issue for life to come and days to come. And maybe you reach those moments and no one is close to you. No one is there can help you. Bless those family support, have your parental support, or maybe your grandparents support, or you have your friends support. But to some of you, they don't have any form of support at all. I would like to encourage you, just draw closer to God, because He gives you peace, He gives you the strength, and He gives you that, peace that surpasses all human understanding, which means whatever you're looking at is what it is, but He gives you that peace in your heart that you're going to be good. And always say and continuously say in your mind and say in your heart, I am good. You're not only good because you are good seeing the things around you. You are good because God is with you. Also to those of you who have any contribution to this single parenting, like you've made it happen, and then you've just walked away from that responsibility and started another new family, forgetting about the wife or the husband that you have left behind and the children that you have left behind. Please be convicted and find a space in your heart to know and remember that you also have children left behind. And also to try in other ways that you can assist and help with their upbringing, because you cannot deny the fact that they are biologically connected to you, that the days will come as they grow older, they will not ever deny that. It will always, and they will always find their parents, whether you like it or not, or you don't ownership or have anything to do with it, but it will follow you and it will find you one day. So wherever you are today, and whatever circumstances you may be, and the struggles and challenges that you can say that you will not be able to give your child a normal upbringing or a normal, a normal life like every other child. We would like to say today, thank you for the efforts you have made so far to make it to this level. And if you have looked after your singly over the primary school days, you can always do it for the secondary school. And if you have done it for the secondary school, you can also do it for the uni. Whichever way it goes, you're going to be good. You're going to be good. And trust God. And always be positive. Never regret. Never look back and say, I shouldn't have. Or I should have had this child. Or I shouldn't have. Don't say you shouldn't have, because the child is right there before you. Don't look back and say, what if I shouldn't have? Take away all this vocab from you. And in your heart, you say, be positive and say, I am blessed. I have this child that I can call my own. And everything around you positively. Hard for you to look at your week, look at the days. If it's hard for you to look at your days, look at the hour. Enjoy the moment, enjoy the hour. Look at the day, look at the week, then look at the month, look at the year. When you are on your own, project your years, project your child years. Write it down and have it at the back of your mind as you pray. You take it all on and you do them or manage them in manageable chunks. Take things you can manage now and write things that you cannot manage now. And relook at the whole scope. Take away stress from your life or depression, because that's not going to happen. You're feeling so stressed out and so depressed, your child is not happy, then your family is not happy, because you're stressed out with things to come. You're overthinking yourself in the things that you cannot handle, things that you cannot control. You're living today with all those stress, and you're the current atmosphere that you're creating at home. It is another word of advice to us women, because I'm speaking from experience. There are certain things that we can handle now and certain things that we cannot handle. A lot of things we overthink it because we are thinkers. We're always thinking for our children, for our grandchildren. We're always thinking for our home. We're thinking of our investment. We're thinking of our finances. We're thinking of the money we can save. All those things we continuously think and continue to think. And sometimes don't stop thinking. But I would like to encourage you today. Sit back and review your thinking. Take on what you know you can do now, and try and place your thinking in better places, and try and manage your thinking in a better place. Relook at the things. Take on the things you know you need to do now and think over. Things that you cannot have control over, right? You can think about that later. But when you pray, you can pick on those things and pray about it. And don't overthink it, because if not, you work yourself up to have high blood pressure. You work yourself up to be so stressed and so depressed because you cannot handle everything that is happening around you. I know, I'm speaking from experience. There are moments of my life that when I pray, I don't know what to say. There are moments of my life that when I stand in the shower, all I do is cry. There are moments of my life that when I drive, I speak to God and I speak to myself and I begin to cry in the car. And if you can relate to my story, I'm sharing with you today, because I know there's a lot of women going through that. And sometimes you are lost. You don't know where to begin, what to do, what to do. And if you are in that situation, take a break. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a step back and rethink and relook. Move out and relook at the same picture in a different outlook, in a different thinking, in a different concept. Because at the end of the day, we overwork ourselves. We stress ourselves. We take ourselves to that near depression mode. For who? For everybody else around you. But you're killing yourself in the process. You deserve to enjoy your life. You deserve to have your life. So have your life and take only the things you know you can handle. And take it one step at a time. And seek God, your creator, to help you out of depression, out of all that stress that you're going through, to be able to enjoy what you have right there before you. So as we have about 7 minutes left on our program this morning. We have spoken to you about your health. We have spoken to you about your children and your grandchildren, and the love, the discipline, the commitment, the responsibilities, the chores. And also, as we are rounding up today, we would like to remind you, husbands and wives work together. Men will be the voice of the women to us, to you men, this morning. Help out in your home. A lot of things your wife is doing. A lot of thinking your wife is doing. A lot of everything else your wife is doing. Try to be the helper and try to be the hand that can help your wife. And try to help with the things that you can help. You will never know how much that is so much appreciated and how much grateful they can be when you do that. On the last family table talk that we were in Scotland, I had 3 ladies with me and they were sharing about their life experience and their journeys. And I was really blessed with the fact when they were sharing, they were thanking their husbands for stepping in and making breakfast. Thanking their husbands. One of them found a sickness. Never knew that the sickness was with her. And she was hospitalized. And she said, not until now that I'm home, and I know how much my husband loves me. And I know how much I value to him. And, I was thanking those men in the church to thank them for what they've done. And it can be, it can be so little, but it's so much to the women at home. And just for them to, and one of the ladies was mentioning that the husband stays at home while she works. And every time as they come home with their children, The food is already, the cooked. The house is cleaned, and everything else is done. And it may be not termed as men's job, but it's also not women's job to be bringing money home, to be, looking after the family, or to be the resource for the home. If we have to strictly term what is men's responsibility and what is women's responsibility, I believe most men's responsibility. And most of you men, the little responsibility to do for the women, it becomes a big thing, huge thing for you. It's like, that's not my job. It's women's job. But yet women are willingly taking over men's job to make it happen for their family. So men that are listening today, try and help out at home. Help with the preparation for dinner, and help in rounding out the children from the ocean. Help with the little things that you can do to bring about that joy in the house, that take away a little stress out of the mothers at home. If your wife or your mom at home is going through high blood pressure, these are the little contributing factors that worked up in their mind. They go to sleep, cannot have a good night rest because they're thinking of tomorrow. They're thinking of the early morning, the lunches, the children going to school, all other things. And mothers are mothers, women are women. We cannot stop ourselves from thinking these things. Even though at times husbands will say, don't worry about anything, just think about yourself. Don't worry about these things. We cannot stop ourselves from worrying because they are our responsibility. And we cannot stop ourselves from doing the things we do. But the help that you men can do, it helps. Be the thinker, be the matured person, be the helper, and be the person that can be there to help share the load of the mother at home and the load of the responsibilities in raising up children, raising up grandchildren, and raising up a good family. Yes, because I believe when God created us, He created us uniquely having a family. All the other elements easily replaced. But this is the element of life. In a whole journey or life journey, you can never be replaced, which is the family. So embrace that because it's a calling from God. You are called from God to be a father. You are called from God to be a mother and also to be the child. Young children, if you're listening to this program, if you happen to be one of the ones or one of the many that are so ungrateful at home, ungrateful with the things that are provided on the table, ungrateful with the things that your parents go out of their way to provide for you to be who you are today, then I believe it's about time that you change that attitude and parents respect and honor your parents and tell them thank you. Look them straight in the eyes and tell them, Daddy, Mommy, Nata, Gay, oh, thank you. Thank you for blessing me. Things you have done to my life. Because that thank you, that little gratitude, you will never know how much it blesses your parents' hearts. For those of you who have left home, or maybe you are rebelling against your family and you're staying in somebody else's family, please return home and tell your parents that you love them. Maybe they've said things to you that have hurt you. Maybe they've done things to you or abused you in a way that is so hard for you to forgive them. Find the space in your heart to forgive them. I will bring this story about this young lady that stood up in Scotland during the youth night. And she came from the Edinburgh community youth. And she stood, and as she was sharing her story and her journey, she was just crying. Crying that her dad left their family when they were very small, and her brother. And they grew up knowing that the father always come in and out of their lives. And until the time he moved back to Fiji. And she said, I'm always crying out to God. I'm always calling out to God and asking God why this is happening. And not father moved across to Fiji. Then she said, that hurt, that she made it her business. She doesn't want anything to do with her father again. And as she shared her story later on, and then she mentioned that one time the father sent her a message to say, before the beginning of the year, I would like to ask for forgiveness, whatever failings that I've done to you as my daughter or to you as my children. And she said, when I read that message from my father, I cried and I tried to make amends. I tried to love my father once again. And this is a storyline, of different people, different scenarios, and different things that are affecting either the children or the parents in both ways. A child, if you're listening to me today, and you have your parents at home, you call mommy, daddy, you call nana, pa, boo, tutu, nata, that blessing of calling them blessed. And remember, there are many children who don't have that privilege you have. And also parents, you have the audacity and also the blessing of having your children with you. There are many parents that are not able to be with their children due to different circumstances of their lives, due to situations that have happened in their lives. Maybe some have passed on, one have passed on, or maybe marriages have broken down, or things that have happened, contributing factors that have led to be the family that they've had today. So parents have your children, and children have your parents. Appreciate one another, hug, and tell each other that you love them, because those days are so precious that they will always remember. And for those that are feeling so left out, always have positive thinking and always have a hope that life is good because your God is good.
Yeah, from here to Raijieli, we say a big binagwalebu for those of you following this program,
Yeah.
Family Table Talk. From here, you and your family, we hope that you'll enjoy the weekend and have a blessed weekend as we come to enjoy the second last Sunday of August 2023. For those of you who live in Lautoka, we invite you. If you're free next week, Sunday next week, 27, one whole week in Lautoka, especially for young people, you don't have anywhere to go. We invite you, come and celebrate with our young people. Thousands of them will be at Nandoku Park. And we thank the Lord for that program.
Yes, and let us know if you want your children to join us. Look after them and also get in touch with the office, and they will try and get your signature of approval to release them, to have them with us. It will be a blessing because the learning, the teaching, and the exposure, just by interacting with other children, it's going to help. On that note, thank you for being part of this Family Table Talk, and we look forward to next Saturday again at 7:30 a.m. Binaka Bakalevo.
A family is an epitome of God's love towards mankind. God designed us to live in families. The Bible reveals that family relationships are important to Him.
But as a believer, do you feel that you are still struggling?
Are you still struggling with your relationship?
Struggling with your finances?
At work?
With your social life?
Or with your spiritual life?
We invite you to join us
on our Family Table Talk every Saturday
at 7:30 a.m. on my TV.
Or catch us on our Facebook page.
Get ready for an unforgettable week of faith, unity, and celebration.